boss fires me after I notice errors with the inventory. So I get 2 years pay for wrongful termination. Here's what happened. Subscribe to AmITheA on YouTube and hit the bell for notifications. I worked at a company straight out of high school that deals with sports/workwear as well as branding. I went to the interview for a storeman responsible for the cage, a place where we keep orders that were ready to be delivered as well as orders that are still awaiting payment, starting in early 2018, and it went well for the first 2 months. Then, I found boxes of orders from more than 6 years ago and asked my boss about it. Her answer was to move me from the warehouse to the financial department to find out why they're still there. Now, first, I know almost nothing about finance. Secondly, as a guy of over 2 meters tall, sitting at a desk in a small office just doesn't work. But it came with the new job title, Finance Administrator, whatever that is, and a pay raise. So, fine with me getting paid more for the same job. And all I have to do is go through some old papers as well. Sign me up. So, over the next couple of months, I made a list. I went through the whole cage and found more old orders. I found more than 80 orders, totaling a couple million in value. Every time I figured out why they were still there, I added the reason to the list, as well as saying what happened to the items. My boss would look good in front of the owner. If there was no reason as to why it was still there or why it was there to begin with, my boss took that box, and I never thought of it again. I just updated the list with which boss took that order. So when I finally had a reason for every order older than 1 month that was still there, I got a raise again and went back to the original job I was hired for still, with the finance administrator title on my contract. I was suddenly called to my boss's office, where I was told I was useless and not doing my job, and I was promptly fired. Something was up, and I wasn't going to go down without a fight. That list I had was on my computer, and the only copy of the list was in my personal email, as I would work from home sometimes. I hand-wrote the list and typed it up at home. So when I went to hand in my laptop, I made sure to remove everything that I did from it. No list, no emails, nothing was left. I then contacted a lawyer to ask for advice. My dad told me to do this as they had no valid reason for firing me. My lawyer had a field day with the case. I got more than 2 years worth of pay, my full contracted time, as well as an apology from my jerk of an ex-boss. But it doesn't end there. I contacted the owner of the company and informed him that I still had that list, and how jerk had fired me without reason, cost the company money, and how she took stock if I couldn't find a reason as for why it was still there. He informed me that he'll look into this, and I sent him the list out of good faith. He was a nice guy the few times I met him. Finally, today, I was talking to a friend that still works there. I was told the police had shown up and dragged Jerk away in cuffs for stealing stock. Yeah, something definitely sounded off about this story. The fact that there's so much inventory just sitting there and no one's asking questions except the new guy. But okay, let's roll with that for now. Then new guy's put on the job, does a great job, and gets fired as a result. Also, anything that can't be accounted for is being squirreled away by the boss. That definitely sounds like something's up. I don't blame you for not letting that go. Following up on it was not only beneficial to you, but letting that owner know what was going on was massive for his business, I'm sure. You can submit your own stories to be featured here on the channel. The story submission link is in the description below. And if you want to listen to some vibey music in the background, check out easymode, also linked below. And don't forget to subscribe. Customer somehow fails to realize that I work here, even though I'm wearing a bright orange apron. I cut my hours back at the grooming salon I work at and took a second job in retail because it pays more. At this new job, we wear aprons as our uniform, and they're quite bright orange. I was pretty busy on Saturday, so I was more focused on customers rather than downstocking. You know, running around asking everyone if they're finding things. I walk up to this nice couple who are looking at new faucets to go in their bathroom. This is my department. Perfect. And it goes something like this. Hey there, looking for an upgrade for your faucet? Yeah, I really do like this one. What do you think? I like this different one. Which one do you like? Oh, I like the brushed nickel ones because they're easier to keep clean and don't really show fingerprints. Me too. How many holes does your sink have? I ask this so I can point them at the right configuration to fit. Oh, just one. I think we're gonna get this one. Oh no, the box is open. I wonder if they have any other ones. I don't know if this has all the pieces. She turns to me. Have you seen any employees? Maybe they can scan it. Oh, totally. Not really realizing what she said. I whip out the scanner and I'm like, oh look, we have 4. And the lady just looks at me and starts laughing hysterically. She goes, oh my God, you work here? And her husband was like, Mary, she's wearing an apron. How did you even… And she's basically rolling on the floor dying. And between fits of laughter, she goes, I thought you were a customer. I was like, why is this girl so interested in our faucet? Oh my gosh. And we're all laughing our butts off because how do you not see the bright orange apron I'm wearing? So I ran off to get a ladder to grab her an unopened faucet box, and when I came back, she was only just starting to regain composure. She thanked me and shook her head, saying she hasn't laughed like that in ages. It was fantastic. Definitely one of the best customer interactions I've had. It's definitely something I bet she won't ever forget. I know I won't. It's nice to have those fun interactions with customers once in a while. They stick out in your mind. A lot of the time, it's very monotonous, or you remember the ones that were really big jerks. But when you have something nice and innocent and fun like this, it tends to stand out. Not sure how this lady didn't realize our original poster was an employee of the store, but hey. We all have those moments where our brain fails to logically add things up sometimes. There's no jerks in this story, so I'm not gonna complain. Typical misogynist assumes I don't know anything about the game he wants to buy because I'm a girl. This happened several years ago when I worked at GameStop in college. It was near closing time on a Sunday, so it was just my manager and myself. Manager was working on paperwork in the back room while I was putting away game cases when a customer walks in. I greet him and ask him if there's anything I can help him find. He brushes me off and says, Nah, you wouldn't know what I'm looking for. Okay. I respond, well, I'm here if you have any questions. He walks off to look at games and I go back to work. I go back to grab more game cases to put away. He goes over to the PS3 wall where I just was and picks up Dragon Age 2, which is one of my favorite games. Out of excitement, I say, that's a great choice, which he replies with, you don't know anything about this. You don't even work here. GameStop doesn't have uniforms, but I have a lanyard with the GameStop name badge, and I'm literally the only other person in the store. Before I can reply, manager comes out from the back room to start counting down the registers. The customer goes up to him with the Dragon Age 2 case and asks, have you played this game before? Manager points to me and says, no, but that's one of her favorite games. She can tell you all about it. He bought the game and left without even looking at me. Okay, our poster said this was a few years back, and I guess that makes a little bit more sense, but I thought we were past this, guys. There's lots of girls out there who play video games, and a lot of them would whoop your butt at them too. It's a really closed-minded way of thinking. But obviously this guy's mind isn't very open if he can't notice that she's wearing a lanyard that has the store's name on it and is the only other person in the store. Odds are she might know something about the video game you're looking to buy. P.S. If you like fantasy RPGs, definitely check out Dragon Age. My jerk of a landlord tried to evict me without cause and only gave me until midnight to get out. So once upon a time, I was living in a not legal basement apartment of an old Hungarian woman's house. I was poor. The place was cheaper than what was around, so I took it. How bad could it be? She was horrific. At first, she was an okay landlady, but then things started to turn. First, I noticed that things were off when I got home from work. Ever get that feeling that someone was in your room? That. So I asked her if she'd been in there, and she denied it. Then I set up a camera and caught her on camera. I asked her again and she again denied it, saying she never goes into my apartment without telling me. Then I show her the video, and she got mad at me. I work nights. One time she came in during the daytime and I was there, in bed, naked under the sheets. I woke up when she came in and asked if I could help her. She said no and left. After that, she would call me lazy boy when she saw me, assuming I don't work since it was at night. Things kept getting worse. She'd sometimes shut off the water when she thought I was using too much, or when I refused to share my Wi-Fi password with her other tenant. Finally, one night I had some friends over for a birthday. There was 6 of us total. It was around 11 p.m. And trust me when I say we were not being loud at all. Literally just hanging around the coffee table, eating cheesecake, talking and laughing. She came into my apartment and started yelling that I was having a loud party with too many people in the middle of the night. She actually came and grabbed my shirt, telling me everyone had to leave. Oh, heck no. That was it. So I pushed her off me and the police were called. That Monday, she left a really poorly written eviction notice on my door. Seriously, handwritten, telling me that I had to be out by Saturday by midnight. By 11:59 that Saturday, I had all my stuff in the U-Haul. My friends and I were just working on bagging up the trash and other stuff for the dump, when she came in and yelled at me that it was past midnight. No problem, I got up and left, leaving a huge pile of junk in the bedroom and storage room. Easily 2 pickup trucks worth of crap I wasn't taking. She actually called my father, who was my emergency contact on my application, to tell me it cost her $400 to haul it all away, and that I owed her money. He just blocked the jerk's number. Honestly, man, way to stand up for yourself. Wait, I didn't mean... Never mind. Yeah, no, sometimes these landlords and renters don't realize that this is your home now. You want to be able to live in it like a home, and occasionally have people over. As long as it's not like 3 times a week that you guys are partying till 2 a.m. and making a whole bunch of noise, I really don't see what the big deal is. She's chosen to rent that unit for you to live in. She needs to understand that you are going to have a life in that unit, not be some silent hermit who she doesn't even know's there and just hands her money every month. While I'm sure a lot of landlords hope for that tenant, that isn't the reality. Guess what? We're renters, but we're human. A user called me in IT asking if I could incubate something on their computer. I'm sorry, what? I got a call from a user today, and this is how our conversation went. Hello, IT. Hi, I need your help. Okay, what's the problem? I need you to incubate something on my computer. What in the heck is this guy talking about? What do you mean? Look, if you can't help me, can you just put me through to a senior tech? Oh, screw you. It's not that I can't help you, it's that I need more information about your problem before I can help. It's simple. There's something on my computer and I need you to put it into incubation for me. What type of file is it? I don't know. I can't do anything because the program needs admin rights. That's why I need you. Have you downloaded a file or been on a dodgy website? I don't need the 4th degree here. I just need to get this incubated so we can both go on with our day. If you right-click the green W at the bottom right of the screen, you can select Scan Now. It'll run a check for anything bad and we can go from there. I've jumped onto an AV console to have a look at this point. I can't do anything with that. When I click it, it says, please contact the network administrator to access blah, blah, blah. I need you to right-click on it, not left-click. I know what I'm doing. It says I can't. Clearly, I need to escalate this to the Help an Idiot division. There's no need to raise your voice. I'm trying to help. It's simple, though. I need your admin rights so that I can move something to incubation. It's not hard. Okay, I'll remote in and have a look. Please click the Rescue Me icon on your desktop. Finally, you're gonna do what I asked for in the first place. I'm so done with you. I wave at the manager as I've spotted something. There's no such thing as incubation or incubator on your computer. You mean quarantine. You believe you downloaded a virus or opened a malicious website and got yourself some malware or worse. This doesn't happen on its own. You have all the tools needed to diagnose and remove the infection. You have 2 buttons on your mouse, one on the left and one on the right, but refuse to click the correct one in the correct place. I've taken over your machine and I'm currently running the scan for the issue. I can also see from your open internet pages that you've been trying to access a number of torrent sites. There are many malicious adverts and links on those sites that are designed to trick you or catch you out and get you to visit illicit sites or download questionable files. You're in breach of company policy by using your company property for questionable and illegal activity. This will be logged and reported. The scan has now completed and found and removed 5 infections, and I can see from my console that your system has blocked and automatically defeated tens of threats or attacks today. So this is clearly an ongoing issue for you. What? I'm now going to escalate this to the IT manager who's been monitoring this call and would like a word. The user was very quickly summoned to attend a meeting with HR and an appropriate manager, and I believe asked to accelerate themselves and then elevate themselves while traveling at speed because IT manager reviewed their activity a bit more thoroughly, including their internet use when on the company network or VPN. The user then tried to sue for unfair dismissal, and IT manager actually laughed out loud when he was told that the reason was unfair invasion of privacy. But he really dug his own grave here. You're not supposed to be messing with that kind of stuff on a company computer. Really, you shouldn't be messing with it at all. Our original poster's right. There's a ton of viruses on sites like that. It's not worth it. Trust me. Apparently our jerk in this story wasn't aware of this, and actually thought that it was our original poster who was the idiot. No, sir, I'm sorry. You are in fact the idiot in this case, as our original poster listed out very clearly. My wife fired the nanny because she thought that she was trying to have an affair with me. My wife, Danielle, 33, has a job that requires her to go into the office every day. I, 42, work from my home office. We have 2 children, 2 and 4. We had a nanny, Esme, whom we'd hired after we moved to the city for my wife's job. We do not have family in this city. Esme was with us since we got here 6 months ago. She was excellent at her job and she was a pleasant person in general. Danielle got it into her head that Esme was going to try and get me away from her. She fired her. It was a ridiculous assertion. I love my wife, but she insisted. She then proceeded to kibosh any nanny that the agency sent, even the male one, because she thought it was weird to have a male nanny. She wants me to watch the kids since I'm home anyway. I said that there was no way that was happening. I bring home 65% of our income. I can't watch the kids and work. I've dealt with this temporarily by inviting my parents to stay with us so they can watch the kids. Danielle hates this. She likes my folks, but she doesn't like having them here 100% of the time. However, neither her mom or dad are able to help. I told her that if she wants my parents to go home, she either has to replace our nanny or she has to stay home to watch the kids. She says that I'm a jerk for devaluing her work and expecting her to watch the kids because she's the woman. I'm not. I'm thinking she created this situation, and it's her responsibility to deal with it. This is just kind of a weird one all around, isn't it? You don't trust a female nanny because you think your husband's gonna sleep with her, but you don't want a male nanny because it's weird. You understand how you're limiting the options here. And when your husband's making the majority of the income, that's something that needs to be focused on. It's not a male versus female thing. It's a finance thing. The numbers need to add up. You want to be able to afford your house and food for your kids and all that stuff? You guys need to be making enough money. If this is the direction she wants to take, then that's what makes most sense, is for her to stay home and look after the kids. It kind of seems like she doesn't know what she wants, or isn't thinking this through. I don't really know how to help you in this one. I guess just get an ugly 60-year-old nanny and then maybe she won't have an issue? I don't know. When you subscribe, make sure to hit the bell to turn on notifications. Put the playlist on in the background to finish listening to all the stories. Or if you want to listen to some vibey music in the background, check out easymode. If you like Am I the Jerk, give Am I the Genius a shot. Everything linked in the description.